Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel, Orcs Magic, and it's John here, and yes, it's time to do another Deck Tech Tuesday. I feel like it's been ages since I've had a chance to jump in and get one done, and this entire deck has been inspired by what my guest judge from the creator series of Gem of Magic. She put up on her Twitter feed a card called Book Burning, which is a card from Judgment. It's fantastic. 2 mana, 1 in reds. Basically, this spell it's sorcery speed spell. It will deal 6 damage to target player unless they are willing to mill 6 cards. Such a spicy little card, and I thought, you know what? Because it's common, there's got to be a Pauper build around it, and I thought Pauper mill. And so what I've decided for this week's Deck Tech Tuesday is we are going to do a Pauper deck, and it is going to be a Izzet mill deck. So let's get started right with the deck. So beginning, the one main combo of this deck is that we are going to be using a Jace Erasure. Basically, whenever we're going to draw a card, a target player, i.e. our opponent, is going to have to mill a card. So basically we have a ton of card draw. Now, a card draw effects package that we are using some spells such as Compulsive Reserach and Tormenting Voice. These allow us to draw cards, as well as also doing Accumulated Knowledge, which draws us a card and we get to draw another card for every other accumulated knowledge that's in a graveyard. If for some weird reason our opponent's playing this card, we are laughing till the cows come home because it'd be fantastic. We then also use things like Burning Inquiry, which will allow us to draw cards on our opponent, and we have to discard randomly. This affects our opponent's hand state as well. We are then also using Book Burning, which late game, if they are low on life, if we've somehow managed to damage them in terms of life, then they will select the mill option. But generally most of the time we are using the mill as the win condition, so damage is sort of here or there. So the chances are they are going to take the damage off most of the time. So effectively with two of these in the deck, you're getting 12 damage, which is rather sweet. Now, to somewhat control the board state, we are running 2 off of Counterspell, and this is sort of to affect our opponents when they are trying to cast stuff and do stuff with their deck. Not only that, we are also helping ourselves fix our deck by running Brainstorm. This allows us to set up our draws quite nicely for what is coming up. And then we have our package to go find our Jace Erasures quite nicely, which is by using Drift of Phantasms and Muddle the Mixture. This allows us to go hunting for the combo pieces that we need for the deck, i.e. the Jace Erasures. And then once we've got the Jace Erasures on the field, we have some really sweet self-windfall effects, which allows us to discard our hand, either in the bin or allows us to shuffle it into our library, and we get to draw that many cards. And if you've got a couple of Jace Erasures on the field at this point, you are going to cause a lot of mill damage to your opponent in the form of what we're using Whirlpool Rider and Tolarian Winds. Now, that is pretty much the deck in a whole. All you're trying to do is draw cards, keep your hand nice and full, discard your hand and draw cards with Jace Erasure on the field, or even somehow magically get a win with damage, which will probably never happen. So the lands that we are running for this deck is basically, in terms of the dual lands, we are using Izzet Boilerworks and Swiftwater Cliffs. They get you life, they're a dual land, they're very nice and sweet. We then have 2 cycling lands to get extra card draw. This could sort of just help get a bit more mill damage in, which is using Forgotten Cave and Lonely Sandbar. And then finally, to finish off the land package, we have 7 islands and 5 mountains. That basically does the job right there. Also a great discard fodder for where you need them in terms of using Tormenting Voice. Moving on in the sideboard, I don't play a lot of Pauper, but I sort of know rough synergies are sort of similar to Modern, kind of. So you've got to sort of build in a bit of graveyard here, a bit of artifact here, and so on and so forth. So to begin with, we have 4 off of Lightning Bolt. Reasons for this is either dual damage to your opponent if you want to try and win that way, or it is general creature removal to hit upon decks. We run 2 off of Counterspell, that is to give us our full counter abilities on board for other combo decks. We then run 3 off of Relic of Progenitus, because it is such a good card, and why wouldn't you use it? And then 2 off of Stone Rain. This is to go up against the Tron matchup, where you or any other matchup that are using duels and they're relying on them. And lastly, we are using a 4 off of Echoing Truth, because this bounces a non-land permanent and all other permanents with the same name back to your opponent's hand, so this can clear up a board quite nicely if someone's going wide with a token strategy, for example. And that is it. It is nice to be back in the saddle for doing a Deck Tech Tuesday. I have been away too long, and I promise to make sure that we are back on it. We also, what we'd like to remind you is that we are doing a giveaway on the channel. The link to that video will be in the description box, and it'll also be on the end screen. Please go along, get your name in. We are drawing it at the end of August. And yeah, apart from that, we're cracking on. And one final other thing is, we need to know some feedback from you guys on the channel. We want to know, with regards to Deck Tech Tuesday, are you wanting to see decks that we've built and are playing them on MitGo? So for example, would you like to see gameplay of this deck itself to see how it would work, etc.? And just let us know, sort of thing. We have heard a lot of things from our vlogs from the GP about how you want to see how our modern decks work, which sounds hilarious. So we're going to have a miniature tournament on that at some point very soon. So that is it for our Deck Tech Tuesday. I have been your host, Jordan, signing off. Goodbye. Thank you for watching the video. Please remember to hit that like button, it supports the channel for free. Also subscribe, and remember, if you don't want to miss any videos, hit the bell icon right next to the subscribe button. Thank you for watching again. Goodbye.